This would be Tuesday, September 24th, attempting Operation 5th Period. Fingers crossed. Book report is due a week from tomorrow, which means a week from tonight is where you're going to be freaking out and crying yourself to sleep because you put it off to the last minute, unless you're responsible and don't wait to the last minute, but that's not going to happen. And so hopefully it will, but we'll find out. And then if you're wanting to turn in your Heroes t-shirt order, that is due tomorrow, because I'll turn that in, and hopefully we'll get those in about 2 weeks. Fingers crossed again. And bell work from, oh yeah, can I give you guys credit for the, not for the wearing the red?
No, you didn't.
Right.
Mexico.
Those of you wearing red, those of you at home, quick timeout. When I move again in a moment, you can just like fast forward, and then we'll be there in a second. Let me go through and give you guys points for the red thing, if we can help you out. And then you should be able to have me look down the aisles. Nathan, and then no, and then no, and then King, and then no, and then yes on Brian, and then yes on Science. And then no, and then yes on Cripey. Words are hard. Cripey, and then no, and then one, and work through ease, and then Firely, and job, and shape, there's Schaefer. Alright, Schaefer, and no, and yes, and awkward, but yes, and no, and no, and no, and no. Is it underneath of it? It's all kind of real sport.
Ellie's wearing a Fisher shirt.
And yes, and
in the city of Fisher, smart one.
Hata, and qualifies, and Matthews, Long, and now. All right.
My name's not Angel.
Oh my God.
Oh,
How many people? Angel, Maxine, Angel.
Nah, it doesn't get you a B point, it got you a house point. Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. Hata! Sure, points? Go for it. And Caitlin! You can scoot back a little bit as long as you return it. If not, I charge you points at the end for making me do extra work. So I wish you the best of luck.
Can we look for
Yes. Right, so now taking a look at going forward from there to bell work. This is the bell work you had to do. Oh, hopefully by now you fast forward and you've stopped fast forwarding because now we're back to the actual thing I gave all the kids points. You're going to write down these two sentences. The sentence there, tonight I will read my story and pass my quiz. And then the second one, I am lazy, but I do not want to fail. And then you're going to have to label each word in the sentence as either being noun, verb, stuff like that. And then we're going to play a small round of Magic Lynn's game show. Cripey, what's up? Is that your thing? I don't do recycling bin. If it doesn't have your name on it, I don't need it either. It's there. Then just one kid still with a pile of stuff on his desk, slowly helping him learn. Getting there. Then, to help you out, this is the cheat sheet, so you can look at column there. That is the first sentence, and it tells you how many nouns and pronouns and verbs and stuff like that. And that is the second sentence, and then same thing as you go through to help you out. So here's how it works for you guys, live version. If you have mistakes in sentence, fix mistakes as we get a chance to go through. Second. All right. And then that's to there. All right. So now we're doing it as a group, and so we'll just sort of go off as a group. And so if you guys all have the same agreement, then we should be good. But once again, if we disagree, it's going to impact everybody. So hopefully we'll see how it goes from there. First sentence.
It's going to be fun.
Tonight I will read my story and pass my quiz. So the first word, tonight. What part of speech is it?
Adjectives.
Adjective. So then I go, if anyone disagrees, that's what you would tell me you disagree. If not, and we agree with it, then we get to figure out the answer is from there.
Who's going to spell?
Oh my God!
not an adjective. So then, next guess. If it's not adjective,
Adverb.
adverb.
Shut up! Nobody asked.
Shut up!
But if no one else is offering anything,
Oh,
you guys can.
please.
What do you say it is?
I is a pronoun.
Right on I. We're still on tonight.
It is a.
Verb. It's a
It's a
verb.
verb.
Verb. Anyone disagree with verb?
No, it's not a verb! I think.
Cover your ears. That's how I know you're disagreeing. Is that what? All right. So we're good to go on verb then. Oh, Byerly, you say not verb. Oh,
Then what is it?
sights.
Saying adverb. No,
He-
no adjective.
He says adjective.
No, we already said that.
already said
Adverb.
I
Adverb.
love this class.
Is anyone disagreeing with adverb?
No, because two.
Me. Wait, no, I said that one.
And adverb's correct.
Oh.
Tells you when it happens. And so anytime it tells you when, and tonight was telling you when that you'll be doing a thing, qualifies as an adverb. Is right. I. You have to raise your hand, just say it out loud.
Conjunction.
Except for Peyton. If you keep yelling wrong answers, I'm going to put you in the hallway.
Pronoun.
So pronoun. Anyone disagree with pronoun?
Oh, wait, you knew this one.
That's not how you disagree.
Oh, wait. I'm covering my ears.
Pronoun is correct. Yeah, now I just ignore you until you keep talking once you get in the hallway. Will. You don't have to raise your hand. Verb. Do I have anyone disagreeing on verb? Is correct. Nice.
That's the other verb, man.
Read.
Verb.
Verb is correct again.
I was.
I was.
This will be the part where you're writing.
Agree with me.
Who,
Hopefully
me?
writing the answers down to try and help you out. My.
Oh.
You just say it.
Adjective.
Adjective.
I do.
Verb. What? No.
Correct.
It's a conjunction. Oh.
Noun.
Once again, Peyton. I know, we tried. In here for at least a good minute and a half. Story.
Noun.
Noun. Anyone disagree on noun?
But don't cut my one.
He stepped over it.
Too bad.
And noun is correct. And
Conjunction.
is correct.
I did not know shit.
Pass.
I like it.
Verb.
Verb.
Yeah.
Correct. My.
Adjective.
Nice fake mark.
Correct again. And
Noun.
quiz.
Noun.
Nicely done. There you go.
Thank you.
I'm trying to use restaurant points.
Sure, go for it.
How many points is that now?
Let's find out. We're going to do our next one. You are now down to 11.
So don't waste the points.
$4.
A bit.
All right. Next sentence. I am lazy, but I do not want to fail.
Oh, you said this one, Nathan.
I.
Pronoun.
Second, I got to help a kid out their points. You says what?
Pronoun.
I feel the same way. Am.
Verb.
Verb.
No, adjective.
I hear adjective. We're
Linking
looking at.
verb.
Yeah, it's an adjective.
Well, hang on. We will vote then. See which one it goes with. So I hear adjective, and I heard, what was the other one? Verb. So vote whichever one gets the most. So if you say verb, raise hand. Adjective, raise hand. 1, 2, 3. Is incorrect. Not an adjective.
That was scary.
And
New stuff.
just say it out loud. You say what? Verb. Anyone disagreeing with verb this time? It is correct. Linking verb. It's right there. It should be in the notes. Am, is, are, has, have, had. Lazy.
Adjective.
Adjective. Right here, a disagreement from adjective.
Adjective.
It's an adjective.
That's correct. Adjective.
Every time he does that, it's scary.
But.
Conjunction.
Conjunction.
No.
Is that right here? And.
It's wrong.
Correct. Conjunction.
But.
Right there from fanboys. It's the B in fanboys.
Oh yeah.
You shouldn't be nervous if you know the right answer. It's easy.
I don't know the right answer.
Oh, that makes it tougher. I. Pronoun.
Yeah.
Is correct.
What? Wait.
It's a
Wait.
pronoun.
Oh.
Do.
Verb.
I hear verb.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, verb.
Really scary.
I
Correct.
wrote this down.
Not.
Verb.
Adverb.
I hear adverb. Anyone disagreeing on adverb?
What's an adverb?
Buddy.
Is correct. Adverb. Nicely done. That's the one most
I
kids
know.
miss. Want.
Oh, verb.
I want to get this one right.
is correct. Verb.
Oh, I got it.
And 2.
Preposition.
I hear preposition.
Yeah.
Do.
Is correct. Preposition. And then fail.
Verb. It's a
Verb.
verb. It's a verb.
Seem confident.
Verb. It's
Probably
a
because
verb.
that'd be the correct
Oh,
one.
I was about to.
Dang it.
So that gives you an idea of, once again, each week my goal is to give you one of these. If you don't have the correct answers, fix them. Because once again, you can use this when it comes, be careful of your hand. I don't want it to get pinched in there. Just where you have it. You can use this when it comes time for the quiz and the homework and stuff like that. And then that's getting ready to disappear in just a moment.
Oh, shoot.
The only thing you need out now is the story of the necklace, which of course you've been responsible and of course written your name on there to make things a little bit better. Alright, let me help the thing here real quick and then
Of course
get rid of
I'm
that.
Don't tell me he's emailing out there. Can I get my notebook? Oh, sorry.
Alright. Caitlin! Yeah, at the end of class. Alright, so then there, once again, it's that teaching responsibility thing to make you a better person. That's the worst thing ever. So then, see, it's that one, and you guys have that. Make this disappear, and we get to doink, the necklace.
Oh, I just finished.
With this one, with our Story Mountain, what comes at the beginning of Story Mountain?
Exposition.
Boring beginning stuff. On this one, with the boring beginning stuff, here's what you're going to look for. We do get to the, what comes after exposition, the,
Rising action.
thank you, rising action. But I'm going to read all the boring beginning stuff to get through it as quickly as possible. My main question for you is this all boring beginning stuff on this one is just telling you about the main character. Here's my question to you. After I get done with it, what is your opinion of her? Is she a good person, bad person, goody two-shoes, evil? So figure out just your opinion of her. Because what you think of her is going to play a big role in what happens in the story. Ooh, now they have the air working again, because I can feel it coming out. We are on a regular temperature roller coaster today.
Thank God.
Necklace. Matilda Loisel was one of those beautiful and charming girls born into a family of poor and ugly people. She had no chance of getting marriage proposals from a wealthy and attractive man, no expectations, no means of becoming popular, understood, or even loved, and she let herself get married off to a little office worker in the government office of education. Her tastes were simple because she'd never been able to afford anything else. But she was as unhappy as though she had married someone beneath her. For women have no taste or class. Their beauty, grace, and charm serving them for birth or family. Their beauty and sense of humor are their only chance of ever being popular. And it put this slum girl on a level with the highest lady in the land. Matilda suffered endlessly, feeling herself born for every rich toy and luxury. She suffered from the poorness of her house, from its bare walls, worn chairs, and ugly curtains. All of these things, of which other women of her social class would not even have been aware, tormented and insulted her. The sight of the little servant girl who came to do the work in her little house aroused heartbroken regrets and hopeless dreams in her mind. She imagined silent dining rooms, radiant with ancient paintings, lit by bright lamps in gleaming bronze sockets. She imagined huge entertainment rooms hung with magnificent artifacts, wondrous pieces of furniture supporting priceless ornaments, and small, charming, perfumed rooms created just for little parties of close friends. Men who are famous and sought after, whose very fame aroused every other woman's envious thoughts. When she sat down for dinner at the round table, covered with a dirty tablecloth, opposite her husband, who took the cover off the soup bowl, she exclaimed delightedly, "Aha! Cheap chicken broth! What could be better?" Ooh, those of you who paid attention to yesterday, what would that be an example of?
Hot dog. Circus.
Excellent. Sarcasm, the verbal irony. She imagined delicate meals, gleaming silverware, glorious paintings covering the walls with folk of a past age, and strange birds and fairy forests. She imagined delicate food served in marvelous dishes, murmured pleasant conversation, listened to with a careful smiles when fiddled with the rosy flesh of trout or wings of asparagus chicken. She had no fancy clothes, no expensive jewels, nothing. And these were the only things she loved. She felt she was made for them. She had longed so eagerly to charm, to be desired, to be wildly attractive and sought after. She had a rich friend, an old school friend, whom she refused to visit because she was so incredibly unhappy whenever she returned home. She would weep for entire days with grief, regret, despair, and misery. Time out. All right, so who's our main character? Matilda. What is your opinion of Matilda from that first intro?
Poor.
Marilla?
It says that she's pretty.
She is a hottie, yes.
But she's
How do you get
poor.
She is also poor.
Unhappy, and goes with ugly people.
She is a hottie who was born to poor, ugly people. And so that does play a role in what's coming up. LaBelle.
She should find herself a rich boyfriend.
Ooh. Why do you say selfish and jealous?
Sugar daddy.
Because she's not really happy with what she has.
I'd roll with that. That's going to play a role coming up also. She is definitely jealous of her rich fins. Selfish. I can see that. She definitely is a little self-centered. Caitlin? Sure, go for it.
Fins instead of how many points do I have?
You are now down to 12. All right. And so we have, so you said she's a hottie. Oh, she's married to some other random guy.
Ugly
Oh,
guy.
for the whole her being poor thing, before you feel too bad for her, she has a servant. I don't know how many of you guys have servants, but typically that's not connected to the whole being poor thing. I know my servants get all grumpy because like I ground them when they make poor choices because it's my daughters. But here, she has like an actual servant who comes into her house and she's like, I'm so poor. Clean my house. And so I'm like, I don't think that's quite how it works, but that might just be me. Maybe a little in the spoil, but yeah. And she hangs out with like really rich people too, which probably doesn't help.
She's like middle class.
But don't worry. What comes after exposition?
Climax.
So here's where we get to the rising action.
Is that right?
If you want to be a real person,
One evening, her husband came home with an excited air, holding a large envelope in his hand. Here's something for you, he said. Swiftly, she tore the paper and drew out a printed card on which were these words. The Minister of Education and Mrs. Rampon request the pleasure of the company of Mr. and Mrs. Loisel at the ministry on the evening of Monday, January the 18th. Instead of being delighted, as her husband hoped, she flung the invitation angrily across the table, murmuring, "What do you want me to do with this?" "Why, darling, I thought you'd be pleased. You never go out, and this is a great occasion. I went through tremendous trouble to get it. Everyone wants one. It's very rare, and very few go to the clerks. You'll see all the really important people there." She looked at him out of furious eyes and said impatiently, "And what do you suppose I am to wear at such an affair?" He not thought about it. He stammered, "Why, the dress you go to the theater in. It looks very nice to." He stopped, stupefied, utterly at a loss when he saw that his wife was beginning to cry. 2 large tears ran slowly down from the corners of her eyes toward the corners of her mouth.
Ew.
Quick time out again. Husband tries to do something nice to her. So what does husband do?
Selfishly. I mean, no.
Gets her tickets to famous people's house.
There you go. Gets a party invitation, this big party that all the super rich people go to. They call like a ball kind of thing. And so he's like, "Hey, all you want to do is hang out with the rich people. I got an invitation to like the richest rich party there is." Thinking it makes her happy. Does it make her happy?
no, because she's
She
spoiled.
screams and throws.
Why is she upset?
Because she's poor. She is
More than, there you go.
Everyone hates her.
She is a little spoiled, and then we do have the whole not having a dress. And she's like, "How dare I go to your fancy party thing? I have nothing to wear. You're a horrible husband." Again, she's a great person.
Obvious.
No.
I love
Bad
her.
for the husband. I would divorce her
But
right
what
then.
is the
Gonna find a
matter
sugar
with
daddy.
you? He faltered. But with a violent effort, she overcame her grief and replied in a calm voice, wiping her wet cheeks, "Nothing. Only I haven't a dress, so I can't go to this party. Give your invitation to some friend of yours whose wife will be turned out better than I shall. He was heartbroken. Look here, Matilda. What would be the cost of a suitable dress, which you could use on other occasions as well? Something very simple. She thought for several seconds, reckoning up prices and also wondering for how large of a sum she could ask without bringing upon herself an immediate refusal and an exclamation of horror from the careful-minded clerk. At last, she replied with some hesitation, "I don't know exactly, but I think I could do it for $400? He grew slightly pale, for this was exactly the amount he'd been saving for a new gun, intending to do a little hunting next summer in the neighboring woods with some friends who went deer hunting there on Sundays. Nevertheless, he said, "Very well, I'll give you $400, but try to get a really nice dress with the money. You're already at 7, now you're at 6. I'm trying to help you not lose any more points. You're sitting there because you're working on my homework." That's the whole point of being there. So, turns out that she is upset that her husband can still try to help her out. And how much money is he going to give her?
$400.
Why?
That's a lot.
There's a dress.
$1,000.
And so, with the $400 to buy the dress, on that one, what was he going to use the money for?
The gun.
And that's where he was going to buy him a gun to go hunting, but instead, she convinces him give her the money to buy a dress instead. We're going to find out in a moment that maybe him buying the gun was a better idea.
Mr. Brovicast, she need to find a sugar
He's gonna
daddy.
get divorced and he's gonna make out with someone else.
The day of the party drew near. Oh, we're going to find out. Now that she has dress, everything should be good, but the day of the party drew near, and Mrs. Loisel seemed sad, uneasy, and anxious. Her dress was ready, however. One evening, her husband said to her, "What is the matter with you? You've been very odd for the last 3 days. I'm utterly miserable at not having any jewels, not a single stone to wear. I shall look like absolutely no one. I'd almost rather not go to the party." "Wear flowers," he said. "They're very attractive at this time of year. For $10, you can get 2 or 3 gorgeous roses." She was not convinced. "No, there's nothing so humiliating as looking poor in the middle of a lot of rich women." "Oh, how stupid you are!" exclaimed her husband. "Go and see Mrs. Forrest today and ask her to lend you some jewels. You know her quite well enough for that." She uttered a cry of delight. "That's true! I never thought of that." The next day, she went to see her friend and told her her trouble. And there we stop, so I get a chance to give kids B points. Tomorrow, we find out what happens with the friend. So now we get to take our volunteers to stand up and do speaky thing to try and get them points, to try and help them out. If we have no volunteers, I choose people who are low in points. Those of you at home, you're done. You're good to go.